and welcome to another episode of World Awake TV. I'm your host, Sky Cubby, and together we are dreaming the world awake. I'm so excited about my guest, Tom Paladino, who's a scalar light energy researcher, humanitarian, and a visionary who's been able to capture the sunlight and be able to use it and use its frequencies to heal millions of people all over the world, to send healing frequency to them that is actually measurable when it comes to neurotransmitter boosting, helping with fat metabolism, decreasing pathogenic load, literally obliterating pathogens. I mean, wait till you find out what this guy is doing. We're also going to talk about the Rapid Ohia Death out here in Hawaii and how he is saving the trees with his frequencies. And there is so much more, even hormone and chakra balancing, that you're going to be able to get for free. If you stick with us till the end of this episode, you'll be able to send in email a picture of yourself or even just your skin if you're shy, and you'll be able to get some free scalar frequency treatments. So without further ado, we are going to dive right into the fantastic world of scalar light frequency. Tom, welcome to the show.
Thank you for the invitation, Sky. Thanks.
Right before this interview, I was outside. I was sitting with my bowl, a big steaming bowl of chard and eggs, and I had my feet in the ground, and it's a beautiful day out here in Hawaii, and the sun was just beaming on me, and I'm just receiving the sun energy here, and it dawned on me that the plant intelligence, with my brand medicinal foods, like being a health advocate for plants, it's the plant intelligence that's transforming the sun's energy and giving us this these healing benefits. And it just dawned on me that what you're doing is you're just going direct to the source. You're working with those frequencies. And tell us a little bit about how you got interested in scalar energy and how it relates to the sun.
Well, you're right. It is source. I work with scalar light, which is sunlight or starlight. Many people know of scalar light from other names, prana, chi. Some people in Hawaii call it mana. It's a reverent energy. It's a divine energy. And it is source energy. And those instructions are responsible for everything, including plant life, as you pointed out so adroitly. So the point is this: when you're working with scalar light, you're working with a divine energy. And in so doing, it's a perfect essence. And that perfect essence, you can use it in so many ways to improve health. So I have developed scalar light instruments. And the main emphasis now is to improve human health with these instruments. They're not electrical instruments, they're scalar light instruments. So in many ways, I'm walking in the footsteps of Nikola Tesla, the great inventor, who was the first one to harness and control scalar energy.
Yeah, I've got some footage I want to play for the audience in a little bit of you in there doing some Tesla-like experiments. So we'll get to that. It's really exciting times right now. I mean, you're working with an energy frequency. How is it different than like electromagnetic frequency?
Sure. In this distinct fashion, scalar light allows us to have consummate direct control over nature, whereas electricity only allows us to indirectly control nature. So when I'm working with a scalar instrument, I can have access to the molecular bonds of matter. Now, with that in consideration, working with microbes, germs, a scalar light instrument allows me to release the molecular bonds that hold together a virus, a bacterium, or a fungus. A scalar light instrument gives me consummate control over a virus, a bacterium. And thus, I can easily break down those germs inside the human body. And in so doing, once we do that, the germ no longer exists. The microbe is fallen apart into smaller fragments. So we can achieve that readily now with scalar light. You cannot achieve that easily with electricity. So my point is, a scalar light instrument allows us to control the physical geometry, the molecular structure of germs. And in so doing, I believe I've discovered the easy way, the painless way to disintegrate viruses, bacteria, and fungi. Imagine what this means to mankind.
It's unbelievable. I mean, but yet you're having actual results. I mean, people are having experiences where they you're able to actually test for this, right?
That's correct. We have hundreds of diagnostic tests from clinics around the world, not just one or two clinics, from clinics around the world. And these clinics prove that we've been able to eradicate the herpes virus or the Epstein-barr virus or the HIV virus. So I am saying, without any equivocation whatsoever, we have discovered the answer, the simple means by scalar light to break down the herpes virus, the Epstein-barr virus, the HIV virus. This will go down as a medical milestone. This will be a high mark, a watermark, if you will, in medical science, once the world embraces what scalar light can do.
Well, look, I'm just going to share this clip real quick of you in your lab, because I want people to see like what you're actually utilizing. Now, I got involved with Scalar way back when my friends Don and Ilona had the SE5. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
Yes.
they would go ahead and send these frequencies out, and it was like magic. I mean, these guys would travel all over the world. They lived in Bali. They lived off the coast of Washington on islands there, and they would do all kinds of things. Like
Yes.
the pathogenic things seemed like the tip of the iceberg. And I want to talk about some of like how this is actually happening. So I'm going to play this clip of you in your lab.
Container. This black box is a broadcast device. It's a scalar energy broadcast device, and I'm pointing to 2 Tesla coils. These 2 Tesla coils propagate, broadcast scalar energy. Now, to demonstrate that we're in a scalar energy environment, I'm holding in my hand a fluorescent light bulb. It's in its factory packaging. And I can take these fluorescent light bulbs and pass them by my scalar energy instrument, and they illuminate. I'm simply holding in my bare hands fluorescent light bulb.
So, and then a little ways further, we're going to just see how Tom actually uses the images.
Let's say somebody is suffering from HIV infection. This is the human immunodeficiency virus. And if you had HIV infection, here's another example. Hepatitis C virus. This is to break apart and to eradicate Staphylococcus aureus. I literally take a magnified photograph. Once again, if somebody were to come to me with Candida albicans, yeast infection.
So there you have it, right in the lab, and you're seeing some of the images and how Tom actually does his work there. So Tom, can you just tell us a little bit about these actual frequencies and how you tune them?
Sure. Well, see, there's no guesswork in what I do. When I want to eradicate a virus, say the HIV virus, as demonstrated in the footage, I take an actual photograph, a magnified photograph of the HIV virus, and I place it in the instrument. Now the photograph serves as the informational input, the instructions for then the instrument to destroy HIV. So I don't tune in a dial. There's no reagent that I have to concoct. Everything is done by way of light, photographs, and the instrument obviously is a scalar light instrument. So I'm working with that primal force in nature, scalar light, and I'm working with photographs, microphotographs of microbes, and in so doing, my instrument can then send the necessary energy to destroy, to break apart a microbe, provided that I have a photograph of that microbe. So it seems so simple. It is indeed straightforward. A photograph of a germ, of a microbe, serves as the intelligence in order for a scalar light instrument to break down, to disintegrate that very microbe. Now, with that said, I have developed the surefire technique, the guaranteed technique to eradicate microbes, germs from the human body.
So, I mean, how are you doing, say, like neurotransmitter work and helping
Sure.
people with addictions? Is that a natural effect from having maybe your chakras balanced and your decreased pathogenic load?
Yeah, that's part of it. Well, let's say people who have some certain types of addictions, addiction to pharmaceutical drugs, recreational drugs. What we have found is that scalar light has the ability to break down what I would consider the residual or the leftover amount of some type of pharmaceutical product or some type of recreational drug in the body. And again, we're working at that quantum level where we can break apart molecular bonds. So we can break apart molecular bonds of, say, some type of drug or some type of recreational drug. And in so doing, the body no longer has that hold. The body no longer recognizes that pharmaceutical product or that drug because it's no longer in our system. If you completely evacuate any residual, any leftover effect from the body, then the body is able to overcome addiction. The key is to break down the molecular bonds of a chemical, and in so doing, you're eradicating the physical presence, but also scalar with the chakra balancing will serve to efface, will serve to erase that hold, that psychic hold that some pharmaceutical products and some recreational drugs have on the body. So
Right,
really,
because
it's a twofold process.
The physical is one aspect, but even
Right.
as people, they get addicted to smoking and that almost like sucking on a binky, it becomes
Yes.
like a oral fixation, and so there's the mental aspect as well. So I mean, it makes sense when after a big cleanse, you're not desiring sugar or that substance that
Right.
you had some addiction towards
Yes.
later on. So I mean, that's incredible stuff. I gotta say, like, this is gonna blow some minds, and I feel like we are tapping into like some kind of 0 point energy. I mean,
It
uh,
is.
it is. Can you
It
tell
is
us
very
more
much so.
about that?
Yeah, very much so. Well, when I'm working in my laboratory, as I demonstrated, it's a scalar energy environment, which is 0 point energy or radiant energy. Some people call it pyramid energy. It's not electromagnetic in character. So we're working with an entirely different physics. What you studied in college about electromagnetic energies is accurate. Most of that is valid. But we're looking at a different dimension. And a scalar dimension really transcends time and space. So this is a different physics textbook, if you will. This is an emerging science, and it's not electricity. It does not behave like electricity.
Tell us how time is related to scalar energy a
Sure.
little bit more.
I believe scalar originates from the sun and the stars. And with that statement, we see that the movement of the sun and the stars is really responsible for time, for our calendar, for the cycle of time, if you will. Why? Well, I believe scalar, if you will, moves in a form almost like a river will flow. So the flow of scalar really is responsible, if you will, for the flow of time. So I go on record by saying that scalar light is the cause, is the very fundament of time. Now, I observe that when you're in a perfect scalar energy environment, you're outside of time. There have been some theorists who've postulated that, and actually there was one man by the name of Grebennikov who developed a scalar energy platform that could levitate. And when he was on this platform, he was outside of time. His watch would always slow down during this time when he was on this platform of scalar energy. So that's one of the examples. There are many other examples. Scalar energy is the cause of time, and you could slow down time if you're in a perfect scalar energy environment.
So it sounds like, I mean, doing the research you've done with scalar energy, you've probably discovered, all kinds of amazing things
Yes,
that we just have scratched the surface on. But
that's correct.
it seems like if you can eradicate and disassemble a substance, can you
Yes.
do the other way? Can you reassemble it and create stuff?
Eventually, I think we can use scalar energy to create life forms.
It's moving. It's alive. Oh, it's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive.
I've not perfected it to that point, but I will go as far as to say that all genomic structure, all DNA, receives its instructions from scalar light, scalar energy. So once we master this energy, we should be able to create life forms, genomic structures. Some type of life form should be able, in our reach, by way of scalar energy. It's quite fascinating. Imagine that. I'm saying that with scalar energy, hopefully within the next 10, 20 years, we'll be able to create DNA.
Okay, I mean, that just makes me think of the experiment that you, I'm sure, are familiar with, where they took, I think it was the salamander
Yes.
eggs, and they put the light that they shone onto the frog eggs onto the salamanders, and it created frogs.
A hybrid.
Right?
Yes, you're right. You're right. And that laser that they used really was an embodiment of scalar energy. So what I'm doing right now, I'm conducting tests with laser-like scalar energy. And if successful in the next few years, I think I'll be able to hopefully correct the genome, the human genome. Now, what does that mean? Well, if I'm successful, I will be able to correct cancer cells. That's the end game here.
Okay, well, creating a biological life form, I mean, let's just take it down a notch. If you're able to create stuff, like what kind of things have you been able to create that can help us?
Yeah, I cannot create life forms yet, but I think it's possible. What can I create? Well, again, let me review. An out of phase, a reverse phase instrument will break apart molecular bonds. An in phase instrument will create endorphins, male hormones, vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, amino acids. So we offer different programs, different therapies whereby we can create, we can assemble chemicals, plant chemicals now. We have one program by the way of natural foods in which we take photographs of food and then we download those chemicals, those natural food chemicals into the human body. So imagine having tens of thousands of plant chemicals assembled inside the human body. Well, the upshot is that people feel better. They feel that they're getting the nutrition that they've been wanting. Much of our food today is processed or denatured. And in so doing, many people say that their appetite is suppressed because they finally have the nutrition that they need by way of this natural foods therapy. Frankly, Sky, the mind boggles with the possibilities here. Yeah, the ability of scalar energy is so far-reaching. It's just a matter of using your imagination as to how to apply this energy.
I mean, I'm just trying to wrap my head around how we can actually, like, how do you control, what nutrients or phytochemicals you actually create? Is it all based on that quantum field input, the picture?
Yes, it is. To reiterate, it is predicated upon that quantum field. I use photographs for everything I do. Why? Because a photograph is a snapshot in time, so to speak. So
okay, go ahead.
So if I wanted to create, say, the plant chemicals of banana inside the human body, then I would simply take a magnified photograph of the banana and then download those plant chemicals inside the human body.
Okay, so you get the frequency, and then you somehow send it out to the target, right?
Correct.
The person.
Correct. See, what we recognize with scalar light, it transcends time and space. So when I want to administer this energy to a person, all I have to do is place a person's photograph inside the instrument side by side the media. For instance, if I wanted to download into the human body apple energy, the phytochemicals of an apple, I would simply place a photograph of an apple inside the instrument and my photograph side by side. The two energies would merge, so to speak, and the energy of the apple would now go into my body by way of a photograph. So the photograph is the medium of exchange. It's the medium that will send the energy to me. In other words, my photograph represents my energetic body, and my instrument then will send energy to a person by way of their photograph. A photograph simply is your identification, or it's sort of like your telephone number. If I can call you up on a telephone, then I can send you energy by way of your photograph.
So with these protocols that you have some things that can work on a hormonal level as well, right?
That's right.
How does that work?
Right. We work with male and female hormones to treat men and women respectively. So I have a list of male hormones that I use for men, and I have a list of female hormones that I use for women. And in so doing, 24 hours a day, we will deliver these hormones, so to speak. And your body then will start assembling, if you're a man, testosterone. Or if you're a woman, your body will start assembling pregnenolone or estrogen. We do this all by way of scalar light. Again, this is an intelligence. And when we work with this intelligence, we can broadcast this intelligence into the human body. And then the body starts to shape and to create, if you will, male hormones for men or female hormones for women.
Well, we're going to share exactly how people are going to be able to send in a picture of themselves and get treated on several different levels at the end here. But I love how you relate it to the sun energy, and the sun is changing now. I mean, we are at a solar minimum. We know that, and that lets in more. It actually lets in more frequencies because we have less of a kind of shield, right? So we're actually getting more sun frequencies. What are your thoughts on, as the sun changes, that it can actually change and unlock our DNA?
I would say that's entirely possible. I would say, how is our DNA formed? It's formed by scalar light. If you look at all genomic structure, whether it's a person, an animal, or a plant, where do those instructions come from, Sky? Well, it has to come from scalar light. Scalar light has to be the embodiment of intelligence. So as the sun changes, I'm sure it's going to have a profound influence upon our DNA, as well as everything else in the universe.
The Mahabharata, the Indian Vedic text, it kind of prophesies a solar flash of awakening that happens on the planet every 26,000 years. There is this sun cycle that goes micronova, and we're kind of due right now. And a lot of people believe that these are some times of great planetary awakening where we're going to tap into a whole nother way of being when it comes to unlocking our DNA, like that of the ancient masters. And so I believe that, what you're saying just totally aligns with our potential transformation that we're headed into, soon.
I want to make this very relevant. When you pray or you meditate or when you have a positive thought, those are all emanations of scalar energy. So I don't want this to sound as if this is elitist. It's not. What I'm trying to introduce to the world is the common energy of the universe, which is scalar light, sunlight. And everybody has access to that. Now, I simply have mastered this technique with instrumentation, but that doesn't mean that you're excluded. Every time you pray, have a positive thought, your emotions, your meditation, your kind words, all of those serve as scalar light instructions. And I want to underscore that we all can make it or break it in our lives. Why not make this a better world? Why not be positive? Why not have some type of goal in life to use scalar energy to abet the human mankind, to abet the human condition? That's really the fundament of my research, not to just introduce instrumentation, but to make it very apparent to people that everybody is a scalar light being, that we all assume this sunlight and starlight, and that we all should be stewards of this sunlight and starlight to improve our lives and the lives of everybody else.
I really appreciate that you said that, because I was thinking about the work with Emoto and the thought and writing words on your water bottle, how it actually structures water, how thoughts are things.
Yes.
And, it's like we are miniature scalar amplifiers.
Yes. Yeah? Yes. Bravo.
And
yes.
and
Well
you and you because scalar energy creates time, and you are working with it, amplifying it at an even bigger level. You are actually 120 years old, right?
There you go. Correct. How'd you know that?
I was just taking a guess at it, but so you mentioned that scalar is like all pervasive. So how does it create all physical forms?
Sure.
I mean, is it just kind of the fundamental fabric of the universe, or
it is. That's well put. Let's use another term. Scalar energy is consciousness. Some people call that grace, the mind of God, Holy Spirit, Akashic record. You have to look at the universe and you have to say there's order, there's structure. What is that order? What is that structure? It's scalar instructions. Those are the instructions that give order out of chaos. So if you look at the universe and you see that where there's trillions upon trillions of stars, an infinite number of stars, it's all of those instructions that are coming from the stars that give us order. Everything from the structure of a star to stellar activity, to our seasons, to the passage of time. Again, scalar energy is responsible for time, to our genomic structure. So everything in the universe is receiving the instructions from the sun and the stars. This is the fundament. This is the overarching consideration when you're looking at the consciousness of the universe. It's all star energy.
So talking again about this 0 point kind of energy, I mean, it sounds like there are vast amounts of energy to be able to tap into.
Yes.
Can we use scalar energy for potential 0 point free energy source?
Yes, this is what Nikola Tesla envisioned, and he did indeed develop free energy devices, but foolishly we did not pay attention to them. So what I would like to do in my lifetime, or somebody else, I'd like to see them rise to the occasion and develop these free energy devices. Now, why did we say they're free? Well, quite precisely, they're from the sun and the stars. So there's an infinite number of stars. So we have an infinite supply of energy with scalar energy. So imagine this, guy. You don't need a nuclear power plant. You don't need to extract for oil or drill for oil, okay? You just need to tap into starlight. That's the future. This is the energy of the future. This is the clean energy of the future that is without any distinction, without any footprint, without any type of pollution to be associated with it, because it's clean, pure, divine energy. Energy that will never be limited. It's an unlimited supply of energy. That's where we're moving.
Well, we know people have been creating free energy devices, and supposedly the moment they get turned on, it sends us, it has a unique frequency that can be tracked, and people go there and shelve it. And unfortunately, that's where we're at. But hopefully, in these times of drip disclosure, that we can all use our powerful scalar minds and envision a world where this stuff exists, and where we have a full fire hose of disclosure. And I think that's what a lot of people are demanding right now, that we have this disclosure, and that it really is this birthright that I feel like everyone should be able to harness for the power of good. So Now's a good time. Let's get out that information on how people can be able to send in their image and get some of these treatments done. And can you explain a little bit about what goes with this freebie treatment and
Sure.
how long they'll be receiving these scalar frequencies?
Sure. So the free sessions are available on our website. The website is scalarlight.com, SCALAR, scalarlight.com. Visit the website. You'll see a red banner at the top, free trials. Now you can submit as many as 25 photographs of family, friends, your pets, your coworkers. Well, why do we do that? We accept as many as 25 photographs from one family because we want to heal the world. And we're serious about this. So when you visit the website, all we need is a photograph of your skin, a photograph of the skin of other people in your family. So please ask them if they want to receive the free sessions, and if so, upload their photograph. Now we're going to perform 3 functions, 3 modalities. Number 1, we're able to eradicate germs, a pathogenic cleanse. We're able to break down the chemical bonds of viruses, bacteria, mold. So you will be essentially germ-free with this session. We're able, second, to balance your 7 chakras, to harmonize your meridians. And then the third modality, we're able to assemble, we're able to create over 350 micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, etc. That's known as our standardized session, and that's available to anybody in the world. So please share it with your friends. This is not on a limited time offer. We're going to keep it up there on the website as long as we can. And again, the overarching consideration is to heal the world.
You've done some humanitarian efforts. Can you tell us a little bit about what parts of the world you targeted and the people you were able to work with? What kind of results you got?
Sure. We're working with people in Africa. Many Christian missionaries are going from town to town, taking photographs in Africa and sending us photographs of thousands of people. Now, with that in mind, we're able to eradicate, if you will, malaria, HIV, dengue fever, typhoid fever, cholera, etc. I would say to date, over the past few years, we've worked with at least, say, 15 to 20 million people in Africa. Now consider that. All I need is a photograph in order to perform this scalar light function. So many times people, when they're traveling from town to town in Africa, they'll take a photograph of the entire town or a photograph of an entire church congregation. And it doesn't take long to introduce people to this concept, and they accept it. So with that in mind, we're well on our way to eradicating HIV, typhoid fever, and malaria in Africa.
What kind of tests do you actually use to perform before and after? Because I know there's the naysayers out there, and this is just mind-blowing and really exciting information. And yet, so many doubting Toms out there are going to want to know exactly how. So what kind of tests do you actually do?
Well, what I like is the polymerase chain reaction test. Some people call that a DNA test. A polymerase chain reaction test will look for the viral load of the herpes virus or the Epstein-barr virus or the hepatitis virus. And we have hundreds of diagnostic tests, many of them on our website before and after, showing people who had once had herpes, now after the scalar treatment, after the scalar session, there's no viral load. Likewise for HIV, I just received a report a couple of weeks ago from a man in India. He'd been HIV positive for 13 years. He submitted his follow-up test, HIV negative. He doesn't have any symptoms of HIV whatsoever. His attending physician is astounded, and the other people at the clinic are astounded. And they should be, because we destroyed the HIV virus in his body. So the word is getting out around the world. It's the PCR test, the polymerase chain reaction test, probably the most accurate test out there.
That's fantastic. Thanks for that. So What we're all excited about here in Hawaii is the work you're doing with the Ohia trees, the
That's right.
native Ohia trees with rapid Ohia death. And,
Right.
this fungus that comes in, and as trees get weakened, the fungus comes in and actually just kind of spreads out and keeps weakening more trees. How is that going?
It's going very well. Let me explain what we're doing. We're taking photographs of the Ohia trees, and many of these are photographs from drones or photographs from airplanes.
I
And
sent
in
you some
so,
photographs too.
yes, that's correct. Thank you. And in so doing, we can take those photographs of the Ohia tree and treat out that fungus that's the cause of rapid Ohia death. Now, we've had great success, and those trees that we have treated thus far have been cured of rapid Ohia death. We've had
Really?
some, yes, we've had some people say that they see a particular part of their property or even a particular part of a forest that they're no longer experiencing this rapid Ohia death. Now, I want you to consider this. I went on Google and Bing, and I downloaded photographs of millions of Ohia trees from Google and Bing, from the Big Island, Hawaii, and in other Hawaiian islands. Now, I don't have all of the photographs of the Ohia trees, but I'm sure I'm treating millions of trees right now for rapid Ohia death. And I'm sure our process now is serving to slow down this progression of rapid Ohia death. And we'll continue to do so. We need people to help us. Obviously, I cannot photograph all of the Ohia trees. So consider that only one photograph of the Ohia tree is needed to eradicate this fungus.
That's incredible. I mean, I'm looking out right now at the tips of some of my Ohias that it doesn't look like they're getting any worse. That's for sure. So, I mean, look, some of this stuff is we have some cutting edge tools. Like we've got the nano silver, and this stuff we got to Sierra Leone when there was the Ebola outbreak, and it got cut off the supply. I think
Right.
3 times. We finally got it there. The Minister of Health for Sierra Leone told the WHO and the FDA, our people have a right to a supplement.
Right.
And finally, it came through and it wiped out the Ebola. However, I've worked with this stuff, and I know like it'll decrease your pathogenic load, but it's not going to like completely wipe it out. I mean, it's also works energetically like a rapid fire stealing the electrons. So there's an energetic aspect to it. I'm just trying to understand when you say eradicate, I mean, are you talking about like literally wiping out completely so there's no trace whatsoever, or are you just talking about kind of stacking the odds in your favor?
When I say eradicate, let's say that's the Ebola virus, and we've had great success with the Ebola virus. If my hand represents the Ebola virus, when we break apart the Ebola virus, it fragments into thousands of pieces. So we're breaking down the Ebola virus into, say, proteins or elements or certain types of nucleotide sequences. It's no longer a functioning, viable virus. We've disintegrated that virus. So we're not going to annihilate matter. Only God can annihilate matter and cause it to cease to exist. I simply take one form, which is a germ, a microbe, and break it down into fragments of hundreds, thousands of components. So per se, the microbe ceases to exist, and even the toxins inside cease to exist, because we're working at the energetic level to take one physical form and break it down into smaller physical forms.
Now, things like you mentioned the MRSA staff in the video, that's something we have a big problem with out in Hawaii, especially in hospitals, even around the world. People die from this stuff. And a lot of times it goes dormant into the scar and it stays there. Is the scalar all pervasive, or does it actually, do you think some of these pathogens can hide out?
It is all pervasive. That's a great question. So regardless of whether you have Staph aureus in your tissue or in your brain or in a bone or just topically on your skin, your entire body is treated when we work with people from head to toe, every cell in your body receives this energy. So no matter where this germ is ensconced, it's going to be fragmented. We'll be able to disassemble a germ no matter where it's hiding in your body.
Now, obviously, people who have dis-ease in their body, a lot of times they need a whole lifestyle transformation. I mean, if they have a surface issue like, say, eczema, usually it's an internal kind of, there are internal issues going on. In what ways is this treating the symptom and not the root cause? And have you had any experience with, say, psoriasis or eczema or stuff like that?
Sure. We have pretty good success with psoriasis and eczema. We're able to treat out, say, streptococcus. That's the underlying cause of some cases of eczema and psoriasis. But you have to consider sometimes those diseases are considered to be autoimmune. So I can't say that I'm going to have the broad scale cure for eczema and psoriasis. We help most of the people with eczema and psoriasis.
But if it's pathogenic or nutrient, hormonal, those types of things, there's certain parameters it does work on.
That's correct. I'll go on record by saying, provided I have a photograph of a pathogen, I can destroy that pathogen. So presently I have a library, if you will, of 400,000 photographs of microbes, germs. So my present state, the present state of our treatments, we can eradicate over 400,000 species of microbes, which are really the common microbes known to man. So that's quite astounding, if I may say so.
It is. I take it, Tom, you don't take the flu shot.
I don't. I'm never sick. I'm 59 years of age. I haven't been in a hospital in 30 years. I'm never sick.
And you don't do any vaccines?
Never, no. I don't need them. I have racks. I have rack photographs. You see those racks in front of me? Those racks, can you still hear me? These racks are photographs. Guy, can you hear me? Okay, what I just did, I pulled off from the rack a plastic bin. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And so when I pull out these photographs, I have thousands of photographs of germs. So all of those racks, all of these racks have photographs of germs.
And by being in the 3D printed on a page, it's a different energy than being stored electronically on a hard drive, I take it.
Correct, correct. So the only way this works is actually by photographs. It does not work. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
It does not work by a CD-ROM. I wish it would to make it a lot easier. So here are photographs of bacteria. Now look at all these photographs of different species of germs, microbes. Okay?
Amazing.
So I have, if you will, in the laboratory now, racks. Here's a rack. Here's a rack. And here's about 6 racks. I have 400,000 photographs of germs in my laboratory.
Well, we need to make copies and make sure that we got some redundancy going there in case something happens, right?
But so, you realize how, I'm dependent upon people supporting me. How can I do this without the help of people? Here's my tube. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Here's my tube.
Wow. Wireless energy. So scalar energy, it's not like you need to tune it. It's just going. It is what it is. It's
It's
sun
there.
frequency.
It is. It's like, imagine this laboratory are miniature suns. These are all miniature suns.
Well, how is it different from, our big sun that, is shining on us all the time?
It's just, I only have a fraction of energy as compared to our big sun.
But I
the
mean,
key is,
how do you work with your images? I guess because you're able to harness it.
correct. As long as I put an image close to those Tesla coils, the scalar energy picks up that essence, that intelligence. See, there's no human input here. That's what I love. Every time
But then how do you direct it to the person?
I just put the photograph side by side, the photograph of the germ. It's so simple.
Pretty awesome.
It really is. It's deceptive. It's like, so all I need is a photograph of a germ right next to my photograph, and then that's it. See, it's really, there's no human ingenuity, there's no human action involved. There's no human action involved. It's all energy, and scalar energy does all the work. So it's mistake proof. It's mistake proof because no human action is required.
I really want to support you, and that's why I'm doing this interview. But I also want to support in encouraging my friends and family to be able to do ongoing sessions with you to keep our health up, because as bad as things out there get with chemtrails and everything else, as bad as dark as things go, the light is right there.
Correct.
And solutions are right there, like what you're doing. So I want to see my friends and family get on the program, and so you're not for an ongoing kind of booster where you do, what is it, once a day you kind of boost them for whatever protocol they want to sign up for?
Correct. So every day when they sign up, they'll be signing up for the pathogen cleanse, the nutrient program, and the chakra balancing. And that's what we offer on the website. I'm surprised that people don't get it. The website could cure the world if the world would pay attention to this. That's the purpose of the website.
We're getting out to a wider audience. The syndication on the show. You're aware of the Binge Network, and now we got the Amazon Fire app with the channel on there, and we're also doing a lot of social media promotion. And so, if you're watching this, please share it. Please comment if you're looking at it on YouTube, comment, because that's the only way that the message gets out there through the trillions of, there's like millions of videos uploaded on YouTube every day. Right. So this is the kind of stuff we want to get out there. So please comment there. Then the algorithms will pick it up and people will actually see this stuff. When the tools are there, you got to harness them and you got to share them and take action. So it's up to everyone as much as us. And thank you so much for being on the show. It's been incredible. I want you to give that link out again.
Sure. The website is scalarlight.com. Visit the website. You'll see the free trials at the very top. Sign up all of Hawaii. Sign up all of the Pacific Rim if you want.
And, I really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy doing some great work. And, I hope that people take advantage of it.
I'm sure they will, Sky. Thank you for your effort. That's all I could ask. Thank you. Great job.
Awesome. Well, we will continue this. I definitely see a part 2 coming, and I hope to have some testimonials from myself, my family, and some other people. So we'll stay in touch, and bless your day, bless your work, and take care, Tom.
Thank you, Sky.
I'd say best of health, but I don't think I need to.
Pun intended. I'd like that.
Everyone, we are together, dreaming the world awake. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you. Enjoyed myself.